Quite often companies contact me and they ask me about how to set up the whole application production process, how to create applications. I mean, it's very clear that it's a pretty intense process to produce applications, and I think a lot of companies mistake the creation of an application with creating a website. Creating an application can be much more tedious than creating a website, obviously depending on the complexity, and there are a lot more processes that have to be gone through before an application can even go on the market. So even though it's a great tool, it's definitely also a tedious thing to develop an application, and it has to be well done and professionally done, obviously, otherwise it doesn't make much sense. Another thing that I see is that a lot of companies still, to this day, after all these years that iPhone applications have been out, have the feeling that they can just produce an application and think that it's going to do well. Applications at this point are the same as websites. You have to promote them, and usually I tell my clients, if you are willing to spend a certain amount of money on creating the application, you should have at least the same amount of money when it comes to promoting it and pushing it into the market. I always say the game doesn't stop when the game is finished. That's specifically for game creation, obviously, but that also is true for applications and websites. If you're not willing to put in the money, there is no way that an application can, be successful. There always is a lot of work behind the promotion. So coming back to creating an application, a big mistake that I see companies do is that they go to websites like Odesk and elance.com, and even though those are amazing concepts and amazing websites and they do have a lot of great people, it's not as easy as just hiring a freelance developer and telling him, okay, here you do this, and a few months later there's going to be an application. And a lot of companies forget that once the application is developed, you also have to maintain it. So if you are serious about creating applications, whether it be iPhone, Android, or for the web, or any other application, you should seriously consider hiring people in-house and spending the money and do it right. Because otherwise, you might be spending the money that you have, but you're not going to get anything out of it that is sustainable and will make your money back. These days, those days are over. I get so many requests of companies saying, oh, I want to create a game like Angry Birds. Angry Birds was a big production, and they had a lot of passion, and they had a marketing team behind. You can look at the credits when you play the game. And, also they got lucky. Sometimes it's almost like winning the lottery if one of your games or applications is successful. It's not a given. So my main advice is be willing to spend the money, have a production team in-house, and be serious about what you do, and don't only think as far as producing an application, but also think beyond. Think about spending the marketing money, think about the maintenance. Make it a business deal, not just creating something cool and on the side, because otherwise I can almost guarantee you it will be a frustrating process and you might end up losing a lot of money on the way.